Hello, I'm April Frelke, and it's my pleasure to bring you the best of hometown life every week. And Jerry is back with another Skeezicks featuring musical guest Bree Morgan. The Tomah Show Choir has had a wonderful year of competition with their final show this Friday. So we want to start off our show with a couple of the Tomah Show Choir parents, Michelle Granahan and Jessica Hennessey. Welcome, ladies. Michelle, did I pronounce your last name?
You did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. It's exciting. You've had an exciting year, I'm hearing. So can you walk us through a little bit of the year, what's happened this year for the show choir? Quite the journey they've been on. I've heard.
Absolutely. So limited edition is the name of the show choir.
Okay.
And they are back this year after being unable to perform last year because of COVID. So came back and have had just a phenomenal season starting in July. So these kids...
They start all in the summer before school's even...
Absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely. And throughout the course of the year, they actually put together two entire shows, so two entire sets.
Mm-hmm.
So they put together a Cranfest show that they perform all through Cranfest multiple times throughout the event, and then their competition show. So they start that in July, they learn the choreo, they learn the music, and they meet twice a week from that point forward to put on just an amazing show.
How many members of show choir are there in Tomah?
Sure. So there are 42 singer-dancers and 19 in our show band. So the music is provided. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. And when you're talking about like preparing for, how long is a show for them? Like if they're, it sounds like a lot of choreography, a lot of dancing, and like, is it an hour-long show, hour and a half?
So the show is actually about 20 minutes, but it is 20 minutes continuous. So
there is no break, no stop. It's just
no break, no stop, and it tells a story. So this year, the show's name is Let's Be Real, and it's really based on the story of Pinocchio. So it tells the story of Pinocchio and includes different characters. So there's Good Conscience and Jiminy Cricket and Bad Conscience and the Blue Fairy and Geppetto and Pinocchio. And so through this music and through these dances and that's the story. So they use the music and the dance and these characters and their costumes to tell the story of Pinocchio. And really it's about making choices. So the show is really about sometimes we don't always make the right choice.
Pinocchio doesn't make the right choice, right? Gets kind of into the island of the, what's it, the bad kids?
Yeah.
I don't want to say misfits.
Yeah,
but
no.
yeah, in the original Disney, it's the donkeys, right? They turn into donkeys.
Yes, and so like there's parts in the show that kind of loosely illustrate that.
Okay. And is that the show this Friday?
Yes. And actually Friday they will do both of their shows.
Okay.
So they will do their Cranfest show, which is a completely different show, and then they will do their competition show as well. And the middle school show choir will perform on Friday evening as well.
Okay. Can you give us a little detail on that performance this Friday? Like, so if our viewers want to go watch the show choir.
Absolutely. So the show starts at 7 o'clock, and it will kick off, I believe they're going to start with their Cranfest show. There's always a little bit of room for the parents to do some dancing or attempting to do some dancing and that final concert, and then they will do their competition show, and the middle school will perform as well. Okay.
And is Pinocchio the competition show?
Pinocchio is the competition show.
Okay. So talk about the journey. So they're in competition. And how has that affected the making of their shows or how they're performing in front of their audiences with the ratings of the competition?
Absolutely. So they have performed in 6 competitions this year and have placed remarkably well. Actually, the highest placings that Limited Edition has ever had in the 38 years that it's been around. But after each one of those competitions, they get a critique. Okay. And so the directors and the captains, so we have choreography captains and vocal captains, take that feedback, bring it back to the group, and tweak the show. So based on that feedback, they make changes, and they do that all through the year. So each week there might be some little change to the show, so it's never exactly the same show.
Okay. How has it affected the seniors this year? Because if you say they've been through the COVID experience, what feedback are you feeling from the seniors as they're kind of wrapping up their year? They got 3 months left, right?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
And I can just see Michelle's tearing up a little. You must have a senior, Michelle?
I do have a senior.
Senior, okay. Yeah.
I'm not ready.
You're not ready to let her go?
Not ready to let him go.
So I think our seniors really came into this year very grateful to have this back. So they've experienced it in the past, and they really took on, I think, leadership roles because they wanted it so bad this year.
Yeah, they knew what it was like without it.
Yeah.
Because they had it, it left, and then okay.
Yeah, so they, I think they really appreciate the work of the directors, appreciate their parents, but just really appreciate the opportunity to be together on stage as that community. And that's another thing, kind of part of the journey, is these kids really become like a family. And it's more than singing and dancing, it's more than that. The directors really work to kind of instill community service, and that it's more than just being on stage. And I think that they really value that and are just grateful to be up there, grateful to be performing again.
That relationship with each other.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure was really missed during the time during the COVID. Do you, as parents, have a favorite production or a song or even a favorite performance?
Do you have
Your
one?
son.
Well, I'm incredibly biased.
Okay, you can be biased.
I'm incredibly biased.
You can be a proud mom.
I love our ballad this year, and it's Geppetto singing to Pinocchio, and it's really saying that no matter what, I'm gonna be there for you, and that's very. Just as a mom of a senior, very powerful. But I also love our closer. The closer to the last song is super energetic, and the kids just really get into it. And when they're done, you can see it on their face how proud they are. So yeah, it's a remarkable show, some remarkable kids.
Well, thank you for coming in. Good luck on the last show and the rest of the year. And on behalf of all the students in Tomah, thank you for your support as parents. You're a key part of that for them. Thank you. Thanks for coming in, ladies.
Thank you.
Well, catering for cast and crew has provided by Strike Zone and Pizzones in Tomah. Great food with fun for the whole family. Skeezicks is next, but first we want to thank our sponsors.
Hometown Life has been brought to you by Lynx Networks, Oakdale Credit Union, Torkelson Funeral Home, Hardware Hank in New Lisbon, The Little Cottage Home Decor and more, The Fun Company Game Room Store.
Tomah Health is dedicated to compassionate, quality care for our community.
To me, quality care means always going the extra mile. At Tomah Health, we do the little things to make a big difference.
Our staff is taking extra precautions, like offering video visits, virus screening, social distancing, and rigorous disinfecting protocols. Due to extraordinary numbers of patients, please expect extra wait times. We appreciate your understanding and apologize for delays.
Tomah Health, together in care.
All right, get set for the story of my life.
Fiction or non-fiction? Get a move on, girls. Train's waiting.
You're right. Absolutely right.
Which view would you prefer?
The one you're blocking.
It only took brains, courage, and a gun, and I had the gun.
John, if it's worth dying for, it's worth living for.
It's been a long day.
Mom, what's for dinner?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I really don't feel like cooking, so...
The best pizza? Look at that crust and cheese. Amazing burgers and steaks. Just the way I like it. Food the whole family loves. That's our specialty. And don't forget, 12 lanes of bowling fun and a huge game room. Rain or shine, always a great time. Strike Zone and Pizzones in Tomah.
The Oakdale Credit Union has spent decades serving Oakdale, Mauston, and Reedsburg. From comprehensive financial services to reliable mortgage loans, we strive to provide unparalleled care.
I like the warm and friendly atmosphere each and every time I come in. The staff is very knowledgeable and truly cares about its members.
Come and learn more about the Oakdale Credit Union, where we treat you like a member of the family.
Hardware Hank knows you have projects, lots of important projects, from paint to plumbing, electrical, and yard maintenance. We have the area's largest selection of Milwaukee tools. Hey, it's what the pros use. We even have an in-store chainsaw sharpening service. It's time to build your property's value with Hardware Hank New Lisbon.
You've got a lot more going for you with Hank, Hardware Hank.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Skeezicks. With the original rascal himself, Mr. Jerry Fugianis.
From Hometown Life, I'm Jerry Fugianis. Well, tonight we're going to talk about something that's pretty common when you grow up in a large city. You see, it's part of daily life in a large city that you're exposed to crime stories every day. I mean, sometimes it's in the news or it's in the newspaper or on TV, or even colleagues at work might talk to you about it. In fact, it becomes so commonplace that you often don't even give it a second thought unless you know the person that was involved, which happens sometimes, but not very often. So you probably heard what's urban legend in communities like this about kids being snatched up. But where I grew up, that was really common. I mean, you were afraid. Your kids could not even play in the front yard. They had to play in the backyard because you were so afraid that someone was going to come and get them. They had to stay in your direct sight. So I had started working out here a couple of months before my family was able to move out. And they would come out on weekends when they could, and we would go down and do different things. So one weekend, we went down to La Crosse. My daughter Jerry at that point was age 5, and she really thought she could read. Really, we'd read books to her, but that made her feel like she was reading. So we went down to Barnes & Noble's. And I was being just parent of the year. You know, I'm keeping a great eye on my kid, and I turn and look, and she's not there. And I can hear her voice a couple of aisles away. And now I immediately get that panic that a parent gets. Where is she at? And then I can hear somebody talking to her. And again, where I come from, that's where the fight starts. Somebody's talking to your kid. So I rushed around the corner, and I took a look. And there was this very nicely dressed, about a 50-year-old woman with my 5-year-old. And they're both standing and facing the bookcase. And they're talking about books. They're having a conversation. And my 5-year-old's explaining the books that she's read, and the 50 or so year old woman is telling her about the books her grandchildren like. And that realization of, this is a really nice place to grow up. So we became a lot more comfortable with living here. So now flash forward a few months, and we're now the kids are in school, and all 4 of them would come home every night, and we'd be sitting around the table, and we'd ask how school went. And those of you that have kids know the answer to that from many of your kids is fine. But one day Jerry says, well, it was really fun today. There was this man who was following me around, and he asked me a bunch of questions, and he was taking pictures of me. So we panicked. Oh my gosh! Somebody, and do we call the police first? Do we call the FBI? Who do we call? We got to go to the school. So we decided the first thing we were going to do the next morning was go to school and talk to them about this horrible thing that happened, so they could set up a sting to catch this guy. And I go and I sit down at my in my chair, and I pick up the Tomah Journal, and I open the front page, and this is what I see. And the picture that you see there, you may not be able to see the caption, but right on the bottom it says, "Don't fence me in." And that's my daughter Jerry. She's 5. And apparently what happened was somebody saw that she was walking through there and said, "Sit down." They took a picture of it, and that's the innocent thing that happened. Some reporter from the Tomah Journal saw her and did this. Another thing that started to make us feel comfortable about living here, we took a deep sigh of relief, and we're assured that we're going to love our new home, as we have. Just another example of how living here has become a new experience. So in just a moment, we'll be back with Bree Morgan. We're going to have a seat over here, and we'll bring her out in just a second. I should probably dance, I think. Oh, no laughing. That was good. Well, welcome back to the show. As promised, here is Bree Morgan. Come on out, Bree. Bree, welcome to Skeezicks.
Hi, thank you.
Have a seat. So, I have to tell you, it was probably, I don't know, maybe 2 Christmases ago, I had watched the Bob Honnell special, and that was the first time that I'd seen you perform, and I was floored. Just absolutely amazing. And I think I heard you talking to someone saying that the transition from when you first started, you could see through all those shows.
Ooh, yeah. If we go back and watch some of the first Bob Honnell I was ever a part of, I think, I'm not genuinely quite sure how long, the folks here have been doing it, but I want to say I was on like the 3rd or 4th one. And, yeah, to even just obviously see me now, and then also to hear like the way my singing and my vocals and my, you know, my instrument capabilities and stuff have progressed over the years is like, it's crazy to have that kind of timeline to really look back and see it.
Yeah. You know, one of the things in reading up on you and listening to some of your music, I know a lot of people ask the question of, well, are you more of a songwriter or are you more of a singer? What I'm more interested in, because the songs I heard recently from you, are you more of a storyteller or a songwriter?
You know, it's really hard with music the way it is these days, is a lot of people don't want great storytelling songs. You know, Ode to Billy Joe by Bobby Gentry, Fancy by Reba. Actually, that's also a Bobby Gentry song. And, you know, like Old Red by Blake Shelton. Just, those aren't old ones, but, you know, they're more like my kind of growing up era. Storytelling songs used to be huge, and that's actually a really big thing, like the Texas music scene right now too. But you know, modern country and modern radio right now, it's very much like find a tagline, make it sound catchy as you can, throw it out to the world. You know, at least that's how I see it. And so I try to do a little bit of both when I write. I want you to see a story or feel a story, whether it's your own personal one that comes to your head or one that you hear in the song when I write.
I think that's really interesting what you said there, because a lot of times I'll hear someone ask someone, what does this song mean? And what I think I just heard you say is that you don't want to tell me. You want me to hear it and let what I feel come from that.
Yeah, you know, there are some songs that I write that I could explain it to you because it was my story. But I am getting more into songs, you know, I'm only, you know, so years old, and
I've got shoes that are older than you.
I am getting to the point where I'm starting to be able to write songs about other people's stories, or maybe not even so much a fictional story, but just a little bit of something that I hear again from another person, and then I kind of write an experience off of it, what I think it would be or what I get from talking to that person. So I can't always tell you the story that I wrote. I can't always explain it properly. Like you have to hear it. And, you know, obviously I want my music to always, in every person's mind, I want my music to bring a story to your head and to your heart, but it's not always going to happen. You know, like my newest song is really geared more towards like women, and I've had other songs that are geared maybe towards like a younger generation. Like the first song I ever wrote, which I think I've played on here before. I was 18 when I wrote that, you know, and all I dreamed about was traveling and being gone. So I literally wrote a song called Gone. But like I can relate to that, and I'm starting to write songs now that are more about people maybe in my life or stories that I hear.
Okay. Well, I got a chance to see your guitar you pulled out today. Do you name them? Do you name your guitars?
My guitar actually doesn't have a name. My car does.
Your car does?
Yeah. Priscilla the Prius.
Priscilla the Prius.
Yes, but the guitar, she's just my guitar. She's just my good old girl.
So did Priscilla make it down to Florida with you?
Oh yeah. She's still there actually right now. She's hanging out in the warm weather while I had to fly up here to the cold weather, but totally worth it. Totally 100% worth it to you know, see you guys and run my promo for my new song, and you know,
we're excited to hear it.
Show tomorrow night. So
you're gonna be doing that for us in a few minutes?
Yes,
great,
absolutely.
Great. So what were you doing in Florida?
Laying on the beach, writing songs, playing some shows.
Missing Texas?
Sometimes I do miss Texas. I was in Texas. I do like playing the stockyards as well. It's a little bit like Nashville Broadway, but it's not quite so commercialized. It's a little bit different. But we just, my boyfriend doesn't, he takes a few months off. He builds swimming pools for a living. Pretty hard to do that in Wisconsin unless, you know, you're going to thaw the ground or something, you know. So we're both able to just kind of take some time off. And I spent the last 3 years thinking that I couldn't take a break. And I finally am learning that it's okay to take a break. I didn't know what to do with myself, but I took a break.
You write some more music.
Yeah, and now I'm happy to be running again. I want to be running all the time. I'd literally rather do nothing.
Okay. So that brings me to, what do you do with your free time? So you say running, what else? What have you been doing?
Honestly, my free time is really just, it's genuinely all music. You know, and I know that sounds crazy, like, I guess, you know, I have a few dogs that I take care of and hang out with, and, you know, a couple friends. You know, my best friend, I hang out with her a lot, and, but really just, it all comes back to music all the time. I'm always writing or singing or performing or going to an open mic, or it's just listening to music, watching it. That's all I do.
You know, I'm always interested in the creative part of writing. And I've heard some artists say that when they're writing, some people, when they play music or hear music, they see colors. Other people see numbers. Is there something that you see or something that triggers that creative thing when you're writing that brings it out?
It's really like, for me, it'll be like words. Like the new song that I'm gonna play for you guys, Dear Cowgirl. Yeah. I was just scrolling through Facebook one day before a show, waiting to start, and
you just gave them some royalties.
And they had like a meme or something, right? And it said like Dear Cowgirl. Somebody had shared something that said Dear Cowgirl, whatever else it said, and I was like, huh. I was like, I like those words. So I write them down. I have a huge list of one-liners. And after my show, I got home and I was still just thinking about it. And so I sat down. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and it just hit me. And a lot of my songs, I have a hard time sitting down to write with a necessary purpose. I'm not a big like commercial writer or anything like that yet, but it's got to hit me in the face. So Dear Cowgirl was born, and I recorded it about 2 months later, and now that'll be my single tomorrow.
Wow, and is that what you're playing for us tonight?
Yes.
Real excited to hear it. Well, in just a moment, we are going to hear that after just a quick break. We'll be right back with Bree Morgan.
Half the people in the world are women. Why does it have to be you that stirs me?
If it's worth dying for, it's worth living for.
I think you're hiding something from me.
I'm at my wit's end.
Yeah, I passed there an hour ago.
I got that bird chicken.
That ain't as tough as a day.
That is a flamingo.
I'm sure modern civilized methods of homicide are much more efficient.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Daddy! Oh, Daddy!
Tomah Health is dedicated to compassionate, quality care for our community.
To me, quality care means always going the extra mile. At Tomah Health, we do the little things to make a big difference.
Our staff is taking extra precautions, like offering video visits, virus screening, social distancing, and rigorous disinfecting protocols. Due to extraordinary numbers of patients, please expect extra wait times. We appreciate your understanding and apologize for delays.
Tomah Health, together in care.
What's the more in the Little Cottage home decor and more? Fashion. Shopping is fun at the Little Cottage. Update your look and discover more at the Little Cottage home decor and more, New Lisbon.
It's been a long day.
Mom, what's for dinner?
Yeah, I'm hungry. I really don't feel like cooking, so...
The best pizza? Look at that crust and cheese. Amazing burgers and steaks, just the way I like it. Food the whole family loves. That's our specialty. And don't forget, 12 lanes of bowling fun and a huge game room. Rain or shine, always a great time. Strike Zone and Pizzone's in Tomah.
This hot tub is so relaxing. The stress of the week just melts away.
Hanging out with friends is fun.
And we have so many reasons to get together.
My Traeger grill is the difference between a good
and an amazing barbecue.
The Fun Company Game Room Store
is where the fun begins.
The Oakdale Credit Union has spent decades serving Oakdale, Mauston, and Reedsburg. From comprehensive financial services to reliable mortgage loans, we strive to provide unparalleled care.
I like the warm and friendly atmosphere each and every time I come in. The staff is very knowledgeable and truly cares about its members.
Come and learn more about the Oakdale Credit Union, where we treat you like a member of the family.
Welcome back. As promised, here with her new single, Dear Cowgirl, coming out just tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Bree Morgan.
house clean. A woman's worth is based on how pretty she can be. How about we make it based on the badass underneath? Dear cowgirl, you're strong. You look fate in the face each day and tell it that it's wrong. Dear cowgirl, you're smart. Nobody's ever met a woman with a bigger heart. You'll fight and claw and scratch your way to the place you need to be. Nobody can stop you. Dear cowgirl, keep riding on. Pushed around and dragged down. Left you with scars. You've kept your head held higher than the clouds when it would have been easier to be beaten down. A woman's worth is based on how pretty she can be. How about we make it based on the badass underneath? Oh, dear cowgirl, you're strong. You look fate on the face each day and tell it that it's wrong. Dear cowgirl, you're smart. Nobody's ever met a woman with a bigger heart. You'll fight and claw and scratch your way to the place you need to be. Nobody can stop you. Oh, dear cowgirl. Come on, girl. Get up off the floor. Come on. You've been here before. You're gonna win this war, dear cowgirl. You're strong. You look fate in the face each day and tell it that it's wrong, dear cowgirl. You're smart. Nobody's ever met a woman with a bigger heart. You'll fight and claw and scratch your way to the place you need to be. Nobody can stop you. Oh, dear cowgirl. Oh, dear cowgirl. Oh, dear cowgirl. I know times are hard, dear cowgirl. Keep riding on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bree Morgan.
Hi, how are you?
That's amazing. Now, you guys know each other from way back.
Excuse me, yes.
We go back to very little tiny.
Yes.
What, first grade?
When I was like this yay big.
Yeah, I gave.
Not too much yay bigger now, but
Yep. I was Bree's ride to school.
yes, Mom used to have to work really early, and I got dropped off at April's house, and I ate popcorn and looked at Pokemon cards with your kid.
With Luke,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Luke.
So this
Every
song drops
morning.
tomorrow, and you got
Yes.
some merchandise on your website.
Yes, well, the merch isn't on the website yet, but I'm gonna shamelessly plug myself if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
I'm opening up for Martina McBride tomorrow night, which is pretty cool. So, I know I'm
Great.
literally childhood.
You know, I mean, if you have nothing else to do, why
Yeah,
not?
I mean,
Yep.
you know, I mean, didn't have anything else to do, but yeah, Martina McBride tomorrow night. Merchandise is gonna be there. Brand new song, Dear Cowgirl, tomorrow, and
great.
you can just Google Bree Morgan.
Sounds great.
I'm just like, I want to cry because I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
I'm
thank
just like,
you.
oh my gosh, I love Slow Bed. Okay, well, Bree, may the force be with you. Your song,
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing.
amazing.
Well, that's our show
Thank you,
for this
guys.
week. And we want to thank you for watching your hometown news, where we're connecting
You with the community.
to the community. I didn't get the wrap up from. Did I miss the wrap up?
I did a wrap up. Yeah.
Okay.